Welcome to Ace My Exams Learning. Let us get started with today's learning.
Read the extract below and answer the questions. Provincial and national elections are held together every 5 years. Voters vote for national and provincial legislatures on separate ballot papers. Regular, free and fair elections play an important role in a democratic state. Question. Explain the term democratic state. A democratic state is founded on the principle of governance by the people, for the people, and of the people, where individuals have the crucial opportunity to elect representatives to Parliament through regular and general elections. This system ensures that the few entrusted with decision-making authority are accountable to the populace. In such a state, rights safeguarding individual freedoms and liberties are enshrined in law. Essential to this structure are regular, free, and fair elections, which uphold the integrity of the democratic process. Leaders, entrusted with power, are mandated to act in the best interest of the citizenry and refrain from exploiting their authority for personal gain. In a democratic state, the will of the people is central to governance. Therefore, principles like the rule of law and the division of state authority are upheld to foster a society where the rights of all individuals are protected, and transparency, accountability, and justice prevail. Question. Explain who can qualify to vote in the national and provincial elections in South Africa. In South Africa, eligibility to vote in national and provincial elections is determined by several criteria, as outlined below. 1. South African citizenship. Only South African citizens are eligible to vote. 2. Age requirement. Individuals must be 18 years or older to vote. 3. Voter registration. Voters must be registered on the voter roll to participate in elections. 4. Possession of legal voter document, ID. A valid identification document is required to prove eligibility to vote. 5. Permanent residency. Voters must be permanent residents of South Africa. 5. Child of a citizen before new constitution. Individuals who are children of citizens before the commencement of the new constitution and have entered the country to become permanent residents are eligible to vote. 6. Residents since the 31st of December, 1978. Persons who have been in the country since the 31st of December, 1978 are eligible to vote. 7. Non-South Africans granted voting rights by Parliament. In some cases, non-South Africans may be granted the right to vote by the Parliament. 8. Absence of disqualifications. Individuals must not be subject to any disqualifications contained in the electoral law. Question. What information is usually found on a ballot paper? A typical ballot paper in South Africa typically includes 1. Abbreviated names of all registered parties contesting the election. 2. A sign or symbol representing each party, usually in color. 3. Photographs of the leaders of the respective parties. Question. Why do you think it is important to have regular, free, and fair elections in our country? What is the importance of having free and fair elections? Regular, free, and fair elections are crucial for several reasons. 1. Democratic participation. Free and fair elections afford citizens the chance to select their leaders every 5 years. This cornerstone of democracy guarantees that individuals have a say in their country's governance and actively contribute to its future direction. 2. Accountability. Should the majority of citizens find their government unsatisfactory, they possess the power to vote the ruling party out. This accountability mechanism ensures leaders are answerable for their conduct and policies. The possibility of being voted out compels politicians to act in the populace's best interests. 3. Peaceful transfer of power. Elections enable the victorious party to assume governance from the incumbent without conflict. This transition promotes governmental stability and continuity, averting potential conflicts and unrest linked to power disputes. 4. Fresh ideas and representation. Elections result in a variety of political officeholders, introducing new viewpoints, innovative solutions, and the representation of different societal interests. Such dynamism in politics allows for policies that more accurately mirror the population's varied needs and wishes. Read the scenario below and answer the questions. The citizens, families, and their communities play a very important role within government and public administration. It is important that all the needs of citizens must be considered to improve the general welfare of the people. Local government is the government closest to the people, and it is very important for every citizen to be involved in the process of government. Local governments have municipal councils and their executive institutions that ensure services are provided for the people. Our government has also established the Court of Law, which ensures that the rights and wishes of our citizens are fulfilled. Question: describe the relationship between the family and public administration by indicating how the family is the starting point for public administration. The family serves as the primary agent in shaping individuals' understanding of societal structures, values, and responsibilities, as well as a foundational unit from which individuals first interact with governmental systems. Here's how the family acts as the starting point for public administration. 1. First contact with welfare services. Within the family, a child's initial encounter with welfare services occurs. It is within the family unit that care is provided for the elderly, the ill, and helpless children, thereby laying the groundwork for the child's understanding of societal support systems. 2. Protection and status symbol. The family acts as a shield, protecting its members and property. Additionally, belonging to a family provides the child with a sense of identity and belonging, serving as their first status symbol, reflecting their cultural and social background. 3. Development of skills and relationships. In the family environment, children not only receive parental care, emotional security, and support, but also learn essential skills for navigating the community. They develop interpersonal relationships, crucial for understanding whether the world is friendly or hostile, and learn to interact within various social groups. 4. Introduction to community and social values. Parents introduce children to the diverse groups within their environment, teaching them about each group's characteristics. Moreover, the family instills values such as love for neighbors, sacrificing personal needs for the benefit of the group, and accepting responsibility within the community. 5. Learning social restrictions and responsibilities. Through familial guidance, children learn about acceptable behavioral norms, moral standards, and attitudes. The family teaches the limits of tolerance regarding what is right and wrong, preparing children to adhere to societal expectations and accept responsibilities within their communities. Question: discuss how a citizen can lose citizenship. Indicate 4 ways in which a citizenship can be cancelled. These following methods represent different ways in which citizenship can be lost. 1. Obtaining citizenship of another country. If a South African citizen voluntarily acquires citizenship of another country through naturalization, marriage, or any other means recognized by that country's laws, they may lose their South African citizenship. This typically involves a formal application process and acceptance of citizenship by the foreign country. 2. Abnegation, accepting political asylum of another country. If a South African citizen seeks and is granted political asylum in another country, it generally involves renouncing their allegiance to South Africa and accepting the protection and citizenship, if offered, of the asylum-granting nation. This act of abnegation signifies a desire to sever ties with South Africa and may result in loss of citizenship. 3. Superannuation. South African citizenship may be lost through superannuation if an individual obtains citizenship of another country through registration or naturalization, and then resides outside of South Africa for more than 5 years without obtaining consent from the minister. 4. Dispossession by the minister. The Minister of Home Affairs in South Africa has the authority to cancel or revoke citizenship under certain circumstances, such as fraudulent acquisition, failure to disclose relevant information, during the application process, or engaging in activities deemed detrimental to national interests. Dispossession by the minister typically involves a legal process and may be subject to appeal. Question: describe the role of the Constitutional Court as a law-enforcing body of authority in South Africa. The Constitutional Court of South Africa plays an important role in upholding the constitutionality of laws, actions, and decisions within the country's legal framework, as explained below. 1. Disputes between national or provincial bodies. The Constitutional Court resolves disputes between national or provincial bodies by clarifying their respective status, powers, and functions. It ensures that the distribution of powers between these bodies aligns with the constitutional framework and resolves conflicts arising from overlapping jurisdictions. 2. Constitutionality of bills. The Constitutional Court evaluates whether bills before Parliament or provincial legislatures adhere to the Constitution. It examines proposed legislation to ensure it complies with constitutional principles and does not infringe upon the rights and freedoms guaranteed by the Constitution. 3. Constitutionality of laws. The Court determines the constitutionality of laws enacted by Parliament or provincial legislatures. It scrutinizes existing laws to ensure they conform to constitutional standards, safeguarding the rule of law and protecting constitutional rights. 4. Constitutional amendments. The Constitutional Court assesses the constitutionality of proposed amendments to the Constitution. It verifies that amendments uphold the foundational principles of the Constitution and do not undermine its integrity or the rights enshrined within it. 5. Reviewing presidential behavior. If another court finds the behavior of the president to be unconstitutional, the Constitutional Court reviews the decision to ascertain its correctness. This reaffirms the court's role in ensuring accountability and adherence to constitutional norms by the executive branch of government. 6. Parliamentary functioning. The court evaluates whether the functioning of Parliament complies with constitutional principles. It ensures that parliamentary procedures adhere to constitutional mandates, maintaining the separation of powers and the integrity of the legislative process. 7. Provincial constitutional matters. The Constitutional Court determines the constitutionality of provincial constitutions or amendments thereto. It verifies that provincial laws and governance structures align with constitutional principles, promoting consistency and adherence to the rule of law across all levels of government. 8. Composition of judges. Matters brought before the Constitutional Court must be heard by at least 11 judges. This requirement ensures a diverse panel of jurists and facilitates comprehensive deliberation and analysis of constitutional issues. 9. Judicial procedure. The court does not engage in traditional courtroom procedures, such as hearing evidence or questioning witnesses. Instead, it primarily relies on written arguments presented by the parties involved, allowing for a more focused and efficient adjudication process. 10. Document analysis and judgments. Most of the court's work involves reading, analyzing legal documents, and preparing judgments. Its decisions are based on a thorough examination of constitutional principles and legal arguments presented before it, ensuring reasoned and principled outcomes. Question: name the executive institutions found at the local level of government. At the local level of government, the following executive institutions can be found. 1. Executive Committee, EXCO. This committee is elected by the Municipal Council and is responsible for the execution and implementation of policies and decisions within the local government. It often chaired by the mayor and includes appointed members as well. 2. Municipal departments. These are administrative units within the local government responsible for specific functions such as finance, public works, planning and zoning, health, education, and more. Each department oversees and manages a particular aspect of local governance. 3. Other office bearers in the local government. This category is made up of various individuals who hold specific roles or titles within the local government structure. This may include the mayor, deputy mayor or council members, who often have executive functions within the local government. Other office bearers could include municipal managers, chief financial officers, city clerks, treasurer and other administrative staff who play critical roles in the day-to-day operations and decision-making processes. Question: describe the role of the municipal council to ensure that services are provided for the local population. The municipal council plays a crucial role in ensuring that services are provided for the local population through the following mechanisms. 1. Bylaw formation. The municipal council makes bylaws within the framework of national or provincial legislation. These bylaws are essential for regulating various aspects of municipal life, such as tourism, refuse removal, health services, and stormwater drainage. 2. Financial management. The council prescribes procedures for levying and recovering rates and taxes. This ensures a stable financial base for the municipality to fund the necessary services required for the well-being of all citizens. 3. Budget allocation. It determines how municipal income will be spent to provide essential services to maintain the well-being of all citizens. This involves budget allocations for crucial sectors like education, healthcare, infrastructure, and public safety. 4. Enforcement of policies. The council ensures that national and provincial policies are enforced at the local level. This includes implementing regulations related to environmental protection, public health, urban planning, and more. 5. Autonomous governance. Municipalities have the right to govern on their initiative, within the bounds of national, provincial legislation, and the Constitution. This autonomy allows them to address local needs effectively and efficiently. 6. Decision-making structure. The council establishes its own working methods, including the formation of committees. While committees may be involved in the decision-making process, ultimate decisions are made by the full council, ensuring democratic representation and accountability. Question: explain 5 characteristics of the Constitution to indicate its relevance in the country. 1. Promoting unity and democratic values. The Constitution plays a vital role in healing past divisions by fostering a society grounded in democratic principles, social justice, and fundamental human rights. This fosters unity and reconciliation among citizens, ensuring a cohesive national identity. 2. Foundation of democratic governance. By laying the groundwork for a democratic and transparent society, the Constitution ensures that the government operates according to the will of the people. It guarantees equal protection under the law for all citizens, safeguarding their rights and liberties. 3. Enhancing quality of life. Through its provisions, the Constitution aims to enhance the quality of life for all individuals within the country. It empowers people to fulfill their potential and contribute meaningfully to society, fostering overall societal development and progress. 4. Defining citizen-government relations. The Constitution defines the relationship between citizens and governing institutions, establishing a framework of accountability and responsibility. This ensures that those in power serve the interests of the populace and govern in accordance with the rule of law. 5. Asserting national sovereignty and identity. In building a united and democratic South Africa, the Constitution asserts the country's sovereignty and rightful place among the community of nations. It promotes national pride and fosters a sense of belonging, enabling South Africa to engage confidently on the global stage. 6. Establishing governance principles. Serving as a system of fundamental principles and rules, the Constitution provides the framework for governance in the country. It establishes the parameters within which government actions are conducted, ensuring consistency and stability in decision-making processes. 7. Clarifying institutional powers. The Constitution explicitly outlines the powers granted to governing institutions, defining the scope of their authority and limitations. This ensures a balance of power and prevents any one entity from usurping undue control, thus safeguarding the democratic principles upon which the nation is founded. Question. Explain what you understand by the following principle of democracy: the government of the people by the people. The principle of government of the people by the people in democracy means that the citizens have the ultimate authority and power in the governance of their country. This power is exercised through free and fair elections, allowing all citizens to participate without undue influence. Registered voters freely choose the political party they support, and the party with the majority of the votes forms the government. The elected representatives derive their authority from the people, who have the right to withdraw this mandate by voting them out of power if dissatisfied. In essence, the government serves the citizens, and not vice versa, reflecting the supremacy of the people in a democratic system. Read the scenario below and answer the questions. The President, Deputy President and Ministers make up the executive branch at the national level of government. They are also members of Parliament. The ministers are appointed by the President as political heads of national state departments. They play a very important role in government, as they were chosen to represent the citizens after the general elections in our country. Question. Why is the function of the Deputy President important in the government system of South Africa? The Deputy President plays a pivotal role in the South African government, as outlined below. 1. Carrying out assigned activities. The Deputy President is responsible for executing all activities delegated to them by the President or mandated by the Constitution. This ensures smooth functioning of the government machinery and implementation of policies. 2. Assisting the President. One of the primary roles of the Deputy President is to assist the President in their duties. This involves offering counsel, sharing responsibilities, and working collaboratively to address the nation's issues effectively. 3. Equivalent tasks as cabinet members. The Deputy President shares similar tasks and responsibilities as other members of the cabinet. They participate in policy discussions, decision-making processes, and the overall governance of the country. 4. Collective and individual accountability. Along with other cabinet members, the Deputy President is collectively accountable to Parliament. Additionally, they hold individual accountability for their specific portfolio areas. This ensures transparency and oversight in the government's actions. 5. Acting in the President's absence. In the absence of the President, the Deputy President assumes the duties of the President. This ensures continuity in governance and leadership even during the President's temporary unavailability. 6. Providing regular reports to Parliament. The Deputy President is obligated to provide regular reports to Parliament regarding the areas under their control. These reports serve to update Parliament and the public on the progress and challenges in their assigned domains. Question. The President, Deputy President and Ministers play an executive role within government. What do you understand by the term executive branch of government? The executive branch of government is tasked with several key functions and responsibilities as presented below. 1. Preparation and writing of laws. The executive branch, led by the President, Deputy President, and Ministers, plays a crucial role in the preparation and drafting of laws. While the legislative branch, Parliament, is primarily responsible for enacting legislation, the executive branch often initiates proposed laws, provides input during the drafting process, and presents bills to the legislature for consideration. It's important to note that while the executive branch may propose and influence legislation, it does not have a direct role in enacting laws. 2. Administration of state departments. Another significant aspect of the executive branch's role is overseeing and managing various state departments and agencies. This includes directing the activities of departments responsible for areas such as finance, health, education, defense, and others. The President, Deputy President, and ministers are tasked with ensuring that these departments operate effectively and efficiently in accordance with government policies and objectives. 3. Enforcement of laws. The executive branch is responsible for ensuring that laws enacted by the legislature are effectively carried out. This involves implementing and enforcing regulations and policies that align with the intent of the law. Law enforcement agencies, regulatory bodies, and other government entities fall under the purview of the executive branch in executing these responsibilities. Question. Describe the functions of a minister as the political head of a state department. The minister, as the political head of a state department, plays a central role in the following ways. 1. Submit policy proposals to cabinet. The minister plays a crucial role in formulating policy initiatives within their area of responsibility and submitting them to the cabinet for consideration. This involves conducting research, consulting with relevant stakeholders, and developing comprehensive proposals that address pressing issues and align with the government's agenda. 2. Make proposals for his/her department to cabinet. In addition to broader policy proposals, the minister also puts forward specific recommendations and plans for the functioning and development of their department. These proposals may include budgetary requests, organizational restructuring, staffing requirements, and strategic priorities aimed at enhancing the department's effectiveness and efficiency. 3. Make proposals about objectives for his/her department. The minister is responsible for defining clear objectives and goals for their department, which contribute to the broader objectives of the government. These proposals articulate the desired outcomes, performance targets, and key milestones that the department should strive to achieve. They serve as a roadmap for guiding the department's activities and measuring its success. 4. Ensure that legislation is approved to fulfill these objectives. One of the critical functions of the minister is to advocate for the passage of legislation necessary to fulfill the objectives of their department. This involves working closely with lawmakers, drafting relevant bills, providing expert input during legislative debates, and mobilizing support for legislative measures that align with the department's mandate. The minister also ensures that enacted laws are effectively implemented and enforced to achieve the desired outcomes. Question. Describe the functions of the parliament to demonstrate its importance within the government. In South Africa, parliament stands as the cornerstone of governance and wields legislative oversight and representational powers critical to the functioning of the state, as outlined below. 1. Legislative authority. Parliament's most crucial function lies in its power to enact laws. Through a meticulous process of debate, amendments, and voting, members of Parliament contribute to the formulation and enactment of legislation that shapes society. This legislative process ensures that laws reflect the evolving needs and values of the populace, thereby maintaining the relevance and effectiveness of governance. 2. Accountability of the executive. Parliament serves as a check on the executive branch, ensuring that those in power remain accountable to the people. Through mechanisms such as debates, inquiries, and votes of no confidence, Parliament holds the government accountable for its actions and policies. This accountability fosters transparency, integrity, and responsiveness within the government, safeguarding democratic principles and public trust. 3. Judicial oversight. While Parliament exercises considerable authority, it operates within the framework of the law. Judicial control over parliamentary actions ensures that they adhere to constitutional principles and respect individual rights. This oversight prevents abuse of power and upholds the rule of law, reinforcing the balance of power within the government and safeguarding citizens' rights and liberties. 4. Representation and freedom of speech. Members of Parliament enjoy the privilege of freedom of speech, enabling them to voice the concerns and aspirations of their constituents. Parliament serves as a forum for diverse perspectives to be heard, debated, and considered in the decision-making process. This inclusivity ensures that the government remains responsive to the needs of society, fostering a sense of representation and inclusiveness within the political system. 5. Emergency powers and state institutions. Parliament possesses the authority to address crises and emergencies by agreeing to a state of emergency. This capability allows for swift and decisive action in times of national peril while maintaining democratic principles and oversight. Furthermore, Parliament exercises control over state institutions, ensuring their efficiency, transparency, and adherence to legislative mandates. 6. Budgetary control and institutional governance. Parliament plays a pivotal role in financial governance by debating and voting on the annual budget. Through this process, Parliament allocates resources, sets fiscal priorities, and ensures accountability in public spending. Additionally, through committees and oversight mechanisms, Parliament monitors and evaluates the performance of state institutions, promoting efficiency, integrity, and good governance throughout the governmental apparatus. Question. Describe how the voting process is carried out in our country during the general elections. In South Africa, the voting process during general elections follows a structured procedure, as outlined below. 1. Identity verification. Upon arrival at the polling station, voters' identity documents are scanned and checked against the voters' list to ensure they are eligible to vote. Voters are only permitted to vote at the station where they are registered. 2. Registration verification. The voter's name is checked against the voters' list, and once confirmed or verified, the person's name is underlined, ticked, or their details are crossed out to prevent double voting. 3. Invisible ink verification. The base of the right thumbnail of the voter is checked for invisible ink, indicating that they have already voted in the current election. 4. Thumb ink. A drop of ink is placed on the base of the voter's thumbnail to mark that they have participated in the election. This mark cannot be washed off and will grow out with the nail over time. 5. Ballot papers issued. The voter receives 2 separate ballot papers, one for the National Assembly, NA, and one for the provincial legislature. 6. Voting booth. The voter proceeds to a private voting booth to mark their choices on the ballot papers in privacy, with no interference or annoyance permitted in the polling booth. 7. Ballot box deposits. Voters are entitled to cast 2 votes, one for the National Assembly, NA, and one for the National Council of Provinces, NCOP, representing their province. After marking the ballots, the voter places the National Assembly ballot paper in the national ballot box and the provincial ballot paper in the provincial ballot box. 8. Departure. Upon casting their votes, the voter leaves the voting station. Read the extract below and answer the questions. The well-being of society is greatly influenced by the well-being of individual citizens and their families. Strong families are central to improving social and economic development. The government also needs to create institutions to ensure citizens' rights are upheld. Courts of law ensure that the law is always applied and thereby protecting citizens' rights. Question. Strong families are central to improving social and economic development. Describe the different types of family systems. Strong families serve as the cornerstone of thriving societies, playing a pivotal role in fostering social cohesion and economic prosperity. The following type of family systems exist in our society. 1. Traditional system. In this system, the father and husband are perceived as the primary provider and decision-maker by the children. The wife's role is primarily that of a full-time homemaker and educator, who obediently supports her husband's decisions. 2. System of camaraderie. Here, the husband is still the main breadwinner and decision-maker, but the wife's input is valued. She may hold a part-time or supportive job while primarily focusing on homemaking and education. Importantly, she receives recognition for her skills beyond the domestic sphere and enjoys a degree of independence. 3. Egalitarian system, system of equality. In this system, both husband and wife have careers and contribute to the family's support. Domestic chores are shared based on mutual agreement, and the wife's role, as a homemaker, is secondary to her career. In this type of family system, equality is emphasized, allowing both partners to pursue their professional aspirations while managing household responsibilities together. Question: describe the important role played by the Office of the Public Protector to ensure that citizens' rights are supported. The Office of the Public Protector in South Africa serves as a guardian of citizens' rights and a watchdog over government conduct in the following ways. 1. Receiving and investigating complaints. As a central pillar of its function, the Public Protector receives and thoroughly investigates complaints from the public against government entities, state agencies, or officials. This provides an avenue for citizens to voice their grievances and seek redress for any perceived injustices or misconduct. 2. Investigating improper conduct. The Public Protector is empowered to investigate any conduct within state affairs or public administration, regardless of the level of government involved. This includes probing instances of maladministration, abuse of power, violations of human rights, and dishonesty. By conducting impartial investigations, the office ensures that public officials are held accountable for their actions and that governance is conducted ethically and transparently. 3. Reporting to the public. Transparency is a cornerstone of the Public Protector's mandate. After completing investigations, the office is required to report its findings to the public. This serves to inform citizens about the outcomes of investigations and any actions taken in response to misconduct or wrongdoing. By publicly disclosing its findings, the Public Protector promotes accountability and fosters trust in governmental institutions. 4. Limitations on investigative scope. While the Public Protector has broad investigative powers, it is important to note that there are limitations. For instance, the office may not investigate court decisions, as this falls outside its jurisdiction. This ensures respect for the separation of powers and maintains the independence of the judiciary. Question: explain why it is important to establish high courts as courts of law in South Africa. Establishing high courts as courts of law in South Africa is crucial for several reasons. 1. Jurisdiction in constitutional matters. High courts serve as vital institutions in the protection and interpretation of constitutional rights and principles. Their jurisdiction extends to all constitutional matters, except those reserved exclusively for the Constitutional Court. This ensures that legal disputes involving constitutional issues are adjudicated by experienced and knowledgeable judges who can uphold the integrity of the Constitution. 2. Appellate divisions in provinces. High courts act as appellate divisions within provinces, providing a crucial mechanism for reviewing and correcting legal errors made by lower courts. This hierarchical structure enhances the accountability and reliability of the legal system by offering recourse to parties aggrieved by decisions of lower courts. 3. Handling serious matters. High courts are entrusted with adjudicating matters of significant gravity that lower courts may lack the expertise or authority to handle effectively. Cases involving substantial sums of money, complex legal issues, and serious criminal offenses are routinely brought before high courts. Their competence and specialized knowledge ensure fair and just outcomes in these critical matters. 4. Sentencing authority. High courts possess the power to impose severe penalties, including life imprisonment, in accordance with the law. This sentencing authority underscores the gravity of their role in administering justice and deterring criminal behavior. By imposing appropriate penalties, high courts contribute to maintaining law and order within society. 5. Binding precedents. Decisions rendered by high courts serve as binding precedents for magistrate courts within their jurisdiction. This principle of stare decisis ensures consistency and predictability in legal outcomes, thereby fostering confidence in the judicial system. Magistrate courts are obliged to follow the legal interpretations established by high courts, promoting uniformity and coherence in the application of the law. 6. Judicial appointment process. High Court judges are appointed by the President after consultations, ensuring that qualified and impartial individuals are selected to serve on the bench. This rigorous appointment process safeguards the independence and integrity of the judiciary, which is essential for upholding the rule of law and ensuring public trust in the legal system. Read and answer the questions. The Constitution established the right of communities living under traditional law and custom to influence the way in which the country is run. Institutions of traditional leaders have been established at national and provincial level to play an important role within government. Question. Describe the composition of the Council of Traditional Leaders. The Council of Traditional Leaders comprises 1. Chairperson. The Council is led by a chairperson who presides over its meetings and represents the collective voice of traditional leaders. 2. Representatives. There are 19 representatives, and these representatives are selected through an electoral process by an electoral college. This process ensures a fair and democratic representation of the various traditional communities. 3. Constitutional provision. The establishment of the Council of Traditional Leaders is enshrined in the Constitution. This acknowledgement in the Constitution underscores the significance of traditional leadership within the governance framework of the country. 4. Provincial representation. The Council's composition reflects the diversity of traditional leadership across the country's provinces. Each province contributes members to the Council, ensuring that different regional perspectives and concerns are represented. 5. Membership. The Council comprises a total of 20 members, the chairperson, and 19 representatives, reflecting the members of the houses of traditional leaders from the various provinces. This collective body serves as a platform for collaboration, dialogue, and decision-making on matters affecting traditional communities nationally. Question. Explain the role of the Council of Traditional Leaders within the South African governance system. The Council of Traditional Leaders plays a significant role within the South African governance system by representing and advising on matters related to traditional authorities, indigenous law, and customs. As outlined below. 1. Advising and recommending to the national government. The Council serves as an advisory body to the national government, providing recommendations on issues concerning traditional authorities, indigenous law, and custom. This advice helps inform government policies and decisions in these areas. 2. Advising the President on national interest. It advises the President on matters of national interest, particularly those related to traditional communities, their customs, and the impact of governmental actions on these communities. 3. Power to delay parliamentary bills. The Council holds the power to delay parliamentary bills concerning traditional needs. This authority allows them to ensure that proposed legislation takes into account the interests and concerns of traditional communities before being passed into law. 4. Representative body in Parliament. As the representative body for traditional leaders in Parliament, the Council advocates for the interests of traditional communities within the legislative process. This representation ensures that the voices of these communities are heard and considered in national decision-making. 5. Review of parliamentary bills. Any parliamentary bill that pertains to traditional authorities, indigenous laws, or the traditions and customs of traditional communities must be referred to the Council for comments, advice, and support. This review process ensures that proposed legislation aligns with the values and needs of traditional communities before it is introduced to other Houses of Parliament. Read the following extract and answer the questions. The Constitution is a very important law for the people of South Africa, as it ensures that the government should always protect the rights of all citizens. It lays down the 3 levels of government, all the major institutions of the state, and their respective powers and functions. Question. The rights of all citizens are mentioned in the Bill of Rights. Name 8 rights in the Constitution. The rights enshrined in the South African Constitution empower citizens to actively participate in shaping the future of their nation and foster a society built on principles of justice, equality, and freedom as explained below. 1. Equal protection and benefit from the law. The Constitution ensures that all citizens are treated equally under the law, regardless of their background or status. This principle guarantees that justice is administered impartially, to promote a fair and just society where everyone has access to legal protection and benefits without discrimination. 2. Dignity as a human being respected and protected. Every individual's inherent dignity is safeguarded by the Constitution to ensure that their fundamental worth and value as human beings are recognized and upheld. This provision protects against any form of degradation or mistreatment, fostering a culture of respect and decency in society. 3. Right to life. The Constitution guarantees every citizen's fundamental rights and ensures their existence is protected and valued by the state. This provision prohibits arbitrary deprivation of life and underscores the sanctity of human life as a cornerstone of a civilized society. 4. Freedom and security of a person. Individuals have the right to freedom and security, which includes protection from arbitrary detention or imprisonment and safeguards against any form of violence or threat to their personal safety. This provision upholds the principle of personal autonomy and ensures that citizens can live without fear of unlawful coercion or harm. 5. Freedom from slavery, servitude, or forced labor. The Constitution prohibits any form of slavery, servitude, or forced labor, guaranteeing the inherent freedom and dignity of every individual. This provision reinforces the principle that all forms of exploitation and coercion are incompatible with the values of a democratic society. 6. Right to privacy. Citizens have the right to privacy, protecting them from unwarranted intrusion into their personal lives, communications, and affairs. This provision ensures that individuals can exercise autonomy over their personal information and maintain confidentiality in their interactions with others. 7. Freedom of expression. The Constitution guarantees freedom of expression, allowing individuals to express their opinions, beliefs, and ideas without censorship or restraint. This provision promotes a vibrant public discourse and fosters the exchange of diverse viewpoints essential for a healthy democracy. 8. Freedom of association. Citizens have the right to associate freely with others, forming organizations, and joining groups of their choice without interference from the state. This provision protects the ability of individuals to assemble collectively, advocate for common interests, and participate actively in civil society. 9. Free political choices. The Constitution guarantees citizens the right to participate freely in the political process, including the right to vote, stand for election, and engage in political activities. This provision ensures that individuals can exercise their democratic rights to shape the governance of the country according to their beliefs and preferences. 10. Free, fair, and regular elections. The Constitution mandates the conduct of free, fair, and regular elections, ensuring that citizens can choose their representatives in government through a transparent and accountable electoral process. This provision underpins the legitimacy of the government and reinforces the principle of popular sovereignty, where political power emanates from the will of the people. Question. Name and explain the three spheres of the South African government according to the Constitution. In South Africa, the government operates within a framework defined by its constitution, with three distinct spheres of governance as explained below. The national or central sphere of government governs the state at the highest level. It holds the primary responsibility for the organization and administration of affairs on a central level, shaping laws and policies that bind all other forms of government within the country. Parliament, as the highest legislative authority, holds the power to enact laws at the central level. The provincial or regional sphere of government constitutes the second tier of governance. South Africa is divided into 9 provinces, each with its provincial government. However, these provincial entities are not entirely independent and operate within the parameters set by the central government. While they possess the authority to govern their respective provinces, it is subject to central government provisions. Provincial laws and policies must align with, rather than clash with, those formulated at the central level. Additionally, the provincial legislature is tasked with passing laws specifically tailored to the needs and circumstances of the province it governs. At the local or municipal level of government, the focus shifts to the smallest form of governance, where municipalities play a crucial role. These municipalities operate within towns or cities and are vital components of the democratic process. Nearly all residents have the opportunity to participate in local elections, allowing for community involvement in decision-making processes. This level of government offers ordinary citizens the chance to manage their own affairs independently, contributing to a sense of ownership and empowerment within their communities. However, decisions made at the local level must remain consistent with any laws or policies established by both the central and provincial governments, ensuring alignment with broader national objectives and regulations. Read the scenario below and answer the questions. Cyril Ramaphosa was elected as the state president of South Africa on the 15th of February, 2018. He was sworn in as president just 2 hours after he was elected unopposed by the National Assembly. The presidential election was carried out in terms of the Constitution. Question: explain the important role played by the president in the country. The state president of South Africa holds a significant and multifaceted role in the governance of the country. Here's an explanation of the important roles and responsibilities he plays. 1. Assents to bills. One of the primary roles of the President is to assent to bills passed by the National Assembly and the National Council of Provinces, essentially giving them the force of law. This step is crucial in the legislative process, as it ensures that laws are enacted in accordance with the Constitution. 2. Refers bills back for consideration. If the President has concerns about a bill passed by the Parliament, he has the authority to refer it back for further consideration. This power acts as a check and balance, allowing the President to ensure that proposed legislation aligns with the interests of the nation and is constitutionally sound. 3. Convenes meetings of Cabinet. The President is responsible for convening and presiding over meetings of the Cabinet, which is composed of ministers responsible for various government departments. These meetings are essential for decision-making, policy formulation, and coordination of government actions. 4. Appoints commissions of inquiry and ambassadors. Another crucial role of the President is to appoint commissions of inquiry to investigate specific matters of public concern and to appoint ambassadors to represent South Africa's interests abroad. These appointments reflect the President's authority in shaping both domestic and international affairs. 5. Refers disputes to the Constitutional Court or other institutions. In cases where disputes arise within Parliament or between branches of government, the President has the authority to refer these matters to the Constitutional Court or other appropriate institutions for resolution. This role underscores the President's duty to uphold the rule of law and ensure the functioning of democratic processes. 6. Appointment and recognition of diplomatic officers. The President plays a pivotal role in the appointment and recognition of diplomatic officers, including ambassadors, and other representatives of South Africa in foreign countries. These appointments are crucial for maintaining diplomatic relations and advancing national interests on the global stage. 7. Negotiation and signing of international agreements. As the head of state, the President is empowered to negotiate and sign international agreements on behalf of South Africa. These agreements cover a wide range of areas, including trade, security, and environmental cooperation, and they play a significant role in shaping the country's foreign policy. 8. Proclamation of referenda. The President has the authority to proclaim referenda, allowing citizens to vote on important national issues. This role reflects the President's duty to facilitate direct participation of the people in democratic decision-making processes. 9. Pardons offenders. Another important prerogative of the President is the power to pardon or reprieve offenders convicted of crimes. This authority is exercised judiciously and is often based on considerations of mercy, justice, and national interest. 10. Appointment of Deputy President and members of Cabinet. The President appoints the Deputy President and members of the Cabinet, selecting individuals who are qualified and capable of fulfilling their respective roles. These appointments are crucial for ensuring effective governance and the implementation of government policies. 11. Dismissal of Deputy President and Ministers. In addition to appointment powers, the President also has the authority to dismiss the Deputy President and Ministers if deemed necessary. This authority allows the President to maintain accountability and integrity within the executive branch. 12. Management of the Cabinet. The President is responsible for the overall management of the Cabinet, ensuring that it functions cohesively and effectively. This includes setting agendas for Cabinet meetings, monitoring the implementation of decisions, and fostering teamwork among Cabinet members. 13. Formulation and execution of policies. Ultimately, the President is tasked with the formulation and execution of policies of the national government. This role involves setting strategic priorities, mobilizing resources, and working with various stakeholders to address the country's challenges and achieve its objectives. 14. Allocation of functions to Executive Deputy President. Finally, the President allocates specific functions to the Executive Deputy President, enabling efficient division of responsibilities within the executive branch. This ensures that government functions smoothly and effectively under the President's leadership. Question. The National Assembly is one of the Houses of Parliament. Describe the composition of the National Assembly. The National Assembly, comprised of 400 members, has a structured composition as follows. 1. Total members. The Assembly consists of a total of 400 members. 2. Allocation based on national election. Out of these, 200 seats are allocated based on the results of the national election, proportionately distributed according to the percentage of votes received by each political party. 3. Allocation to provinces. The remaining 200 seats are distributed among the provinces as follows. A. Gauteng, 43 seats. B. KwaZulu-Natal, 40 seats. C. Eastern Cape, 28 seats. D. Western Cape, 21 seats. E. Limpopo, 20 seats. F. Free State, 15 seats. G. Northwest, 15 seats. H. Mpumalanga, 14 seats. I. Northern Cape, 4 seats. 4. Election of Speaker. Within the Assembly, a Speaker is democratically elected among its members. This individual serves as the chairperson of the National Assembly, presiding over its proceedings. 5. Chief Whip. Each political party represented in the National Assembly designates a leader, known as the Chief Whip, responsible for coordinating the party's activities within the Assembly. 6. Additional Whips. Political parties have the option to appoint additional whips in accordance with a specific ratio, 1 whip for every 8 to 69 members. These whips assist in organizing party affairs and ensuring party discipline within the Assembly. Even political parties lacking the size to appoint a designated whip are granted the opportunity to participate in whip meetings, ensuring inclusivity and representation within the Assembly. 7. Deputy Whip. The majority party within the Assembly retains the authority to appoint a deputy whip, further facilitating the management of party affairs. 8. Term. Members of the National Assembly are elected by the public every 5 years. This helps to provide for regular democratic renewal and representation. Question. Describe 3 requirements of members of the National Assembly. The 3 requirements for members of the National Assembly in South Africa are: 1. Citizenship. Members of the National Assembly must be South African citizens. This requirement ensures that those representing the people in the legislative body have allegiance to the country and its citizens. It also aligns with the principle of sovereignty, ensuring that only citizens have the privilege of shaping the nation's laws and policies through their elected representatives. 2. Eligible to vote. Another requirement for members of the National Assembly is that they must be qualified to vote in the general elections. This criterion ensures that those serving in the legislative body have a direct connection to the electorate. By being eligible voters themselves, they are more likely to understand the concerns and interests of the people they represent, thereby enhancing the democratic process. 3. Oath or solemn affirmation. Before assuming their duties, members of the National Assembly must make an oath or solemn affirmation. This oath typically includes a pledge to uphold the Constitution of South Africa and to faithfully and impartially perform the functions of a Member of Parliament. By taking such an oath, lawmakers commit themselves to the principles of democracy, rule of law, and serving the best interests of the nation and its people. It also serves as a formal declaration of their dedication to their responsibilities as elected representatives. Question. Explain the 5 aims of the Constitution of South Africa. The aims of the Constitution of South Africa are: 1. To heal the divisions of the past and create a society based on democratic values, social justice, and basic human rights. This aim addresses the historical injustices and divisions of apartheid by fostering a society grounded in democratic principles and ensuring the protection of human rights for all citizens. 2. To lay the foundation for a democratic and open society in which government is based on the will of the people and every citizen is equally protected by the law. This aim emphasizes the establishment of a democratic system where governance reflects the will of the people and ensures that all citizens are equally protected under the law, regardless of their background or status. 3. To improve the quality of life of all citizens and free the potential of all people. This aim focuses on enhancing the well-being and opportunities for all citizens, aiming for inclusive growth and development that enables individuals to reach their full potential. 4. To determine the relationship between citizens and the governing institutions. This aim clarifies the interaction and responsibilities between citizens and the government, establishing a framework for accountable and transparent governance that fosters trust and participation. To build a united and democratic South Africa able to take its rightful place as a sovereign state in the family of nations, this aim aims to unify the diverse population of South Africa under the banner of democracy and sovereignty, positioning the country as an equal member of the global community. Read the scenario below and answer the questions. The general elections in our country are held according to the proportional representation system. During these elections, members are elected to Parliament, as well to the provincial legislature of the 9 provinces. Question. Explain the term proportional representation system. Proportional representation, PR, is an electoral system where the distribution of seats in a legislative body is directly proportional to the percentage of votes each political party receives in an election. For instance, if a party secures 70% of the votes in national elections, it should ideally be entitled to 70% of the seats in the National Assembly. Question. Describe the important role played by the provincial legislature by using the following headings. 1. Composition of the provincial legislature. 2. Legislative competence of the provincial legislature. Composition of the provincial legislature. The provincial legislature has the following composition. A. Number of members. The provincial legislature consists of a membership ranging from 30 to 100 individuals, ensuring representation from various sectors and communities within the province. B. Proportional representation. Members are elected through a proportional representation system during general elections, ensuring fair representation of different political parties and ideologies within the legislature. C. Premier's leadership. The Premier, serving as the head of the province, also leads the provincial legislature, guiding legislative agendas and representing the province's interests. D. Term duration. Members serve a term of office lasting 5 years, allowing for stability and continuity in governance and policy-making processes. The legislative competence of the provincial legislature. The provincial legislature exercises legislative competence over various provincial development and governance. Key areas. They include 1. Agriculture. Formulating policies and regulations to support agricultural development and sustainability within the province. 2. Cultural affairs. Promoting and preserving the cultural heritage and diversity of the province through legislative initiatives and support for cultural activities. 3. Education, excluding universities. Establishing educational policies, curriculum frameworks, and standards for schools within the province to ensure quality education for all. 4. Health services. Overseeing the provision of healthcare services and implementing health policies to address the healthcare needs of the province's population. 5. Housing. Developing strategies and programs to address housing challenges and provide affordable housing solutions for residents. 6. Language policy. Enacting policies to promote linguistic diversity and support the preservation and promotion of Indigenous languages within the province. 7. Police and protection services. Legislative oversight and support for law enforcement agencies to maintain public safety and security. 8. Public transport. Developing and regulating public transportation systems to ensure efficient and accessible transportation options for residents. 9. Tourism. Promoting tourism initiatives, supporting tourism infrastructure development, and enhancing the province's attractiveness as a tourist destination. 10. Local government. Providing legislative support and oversight for local government structures and functions within the province. 11. Bills. Discussing, debating, and passing bills on various matters of public interest and concern, contributing to the formulation of laws and policies. 12. Gambling, except lotteries. Regulating and overseeing gambling activities within the province, excluding lotteries, to ensure responsible gambling practices and mitigate associated risks. 13. Environment. Implementing environmental protection policies and regulations to safeguard natural resources and mitigate environmental degradation. 14. Public works. Planning, funding, and overseeing public infrastructure projects and initiatives to support the province's development and growth. 15. Regional planning and development. Formulating strategies and plans for regional development and growth, ensuring equitable distribution of resources and opportunities across the province. 16. Tourism. Promoting tourism initiatives, supporting tourism infrastructure development, and enhancing the province's attractiveness as a tourist destination. Describe the important powers and functions of the Premier as the head of the executive authority in provincial administration. The Premier in a provincial government has a wide array of responsibilities that are essential for the effective governance of the province. They include 1. Appointment and dismissal of Executive Council members. As the head of the executive authority in provincial administration, the Premier holds the crucial power to appoint and dismiss members of the Executive Council. This helps to shape the provincial government's direction and ensures that the executive team aligns with the Premier's policy objectives. 2. Convening executive meetings. The Premier is responsible for convening and presiding over executive meetings. This power enables the Premier to gather key decision-makers, discuss policy matters, and coordinate the implementation of government initiatives. 3. Assenting to and signing provincial bills. The Premier plays a pivotal role in the legislative process by having the authority to approve and sign provincial bills into law. This power reflects the government's stance on various issues and its commitment to enacting laws that align with its policy agenda. 4. Referring bills to the provincial legislature for further consideration. In instances where the Premier deems it necessary, he may refer a bill back to the provincial legislature for further consideration. This function provides a mechanism for reviewing and refining proposed legislation, ensuring that it undergoes thorough scrutiny and aligns with the broader interests and needs of the province. Read the extract below and answer the questions. Administration is the logical and orderly doing of a task. It involves carrying out a task to achieve a particular goal. Administration is required by all government state departments to achieve their goals and objectives. Question. Differentiate between the administration of public and private institutions. The administration of public institutions is overseen by the government and focuses on serving the general welfare of the population. It operates within the public sector, utilizing taxpayer funds to provide essential services. Public institutions are accountable to the people, as they use taxpayers' money, and their primary goal is to improve societal well-being. In contrast, private institutions are predominantly managed by privately owned businesses, and operate within the private sector with the aim of generating profit. These entities are not directly accountable to the public, as they utilize their own capital to establish and run their operations. Private institutions primarily engage in the manufacturing and trading of goods and services, driven by market demands and profitability objectives. Question. Name the 6 generic administrative processes found within government departments. Below are the 6 generic administrative processes found within government departments. 1. Policymaking. This process involves the formulation, evaluation, and implementation of policies to address various issues and achieve specific goals. Policymaking is crucial for setting the direction and priorities of government actions. 2. Organizing. Organizing involves structuring the resources, such as personnel, finances, and facilities, within a government department to efficiently achieve its objectives. This includes establishing hierarchies, delegating responsibilities, and coordinating activities. 3. Financing. Financing refers to the allocation and management of financial resources within a government department. This includes budgeting, revenue generation, expenditure planning, and financial reporting to ensure the department operates within its fiscal constraints. 4. Staffing and personnel provisioning and utilization. This process involves recruiting, selecting, training, and deploying personnel within a government department to carry out its functions effectively. It also includes managing employee performance, addressing HR issues, and optimizing workforce utilization. 5. Determination of work methods and procedures. This process entails defining the methods, procedures, and standards for carrying out tasks within a government department. It involves establishing guidelines, protocols, and best practices to ensure consistency, efficiency, and quality in service delivery. 6. Control. Control involves monitoring, evaluating, and regulating the performance of a government department to ensure compliance with policies, standards, and objectives. This includes establishing performance metrics, conducting audits, and implementing corrective actions to address deficiencies and improve efficiency. Question. Describe why state departments play an important role within the government. State departments play a crucial role within the government in the following ways. 1. Responsibility to provide physical, social, and administrative services. State departments are tasked with delivering essential services to the public, including infrastructure, healthcare, education, and public safety. These services are fundamental for the well-being and functioning of society. 2. Meeting the needs of citizens. State departments aim to address the diverse needs of the citizens they serve. Whether it's providing healthcare access, ensuring quality education, or maintaining public infrastructure, these departments play a vital role in enhancing the quality of life for individuals and communities. 3. Political leadership and administrative execution. Ministers serve as the political heads of state departments, providing leadership and direction. Meanwhile, Government officials within these departments are responsible for implementing policies, programs, and services effectively and efficiently. 4. Organizational units for specific services. State departments are organized into units focused on delivering specific services or groups of similar services. For example, the Department of Education concentrates on providing educational services, ensuring a dedicated focus and expertise in that area. 5. Implementation of government policies. State departments are instrumental in translating government policies and priorities into action. They play a central role in executing policies, regulations, and initiatives to achieve government objectives and address societal challenges.
To access more learning and exam preparation materials, go to www.acemyexams.coza. This link is also in the video description below. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to subscribe and be the first to know when we upload new videos.